All right, Tristan, let's take a look at your paper. MLA format first. This needs to be Times New Roman. Should be 22 November 2016. No commas, no punctuation. You got a space issue here. We got to move this up. A muttered mind. Maybe like muddled. I'm not sure. A muttered mind. I kind of get where you're going with it. So maybe that would work. I don't know. We'll see how it all works in your paper. All right. So I kind of like this idea, this beginning part. Like you're kind of diving a little bit into the topic with as far as pushing people away, starting to see things. I mean, you're talking about hallucinations and, that sort of behavior. And I like this good transition statement. This is what Macbeth was dealing with in his own head, etc. But instead of waiting till your actual thesis statement to explain schizophrenia, you really need to introduce it up here. Also, think about word choice. He thought he had become different. See, there's muffled. That's right. Thought maybe. Anyways. Change for the worse. I think you can have a little bit stronger wording, like not normal. I think there's some stronger wording in here that you can choose. So became delusional, hallucinated objects, his thoughts turned sour. The changes he undertook are different symptoms of schizophrenia, such as hallucinations, struggle to make decisions, and inappropriate or bizarre behavior. Okay, so those are your main points. I don't care that they're in your, you talk about them up here too. You also talk about delusions. I'm assuming maybe delusions and hallucinations are going to go together. That's okay. So it affected him to have a false sense of confidence. Maybe affected him by giving him a false sense of confidence in his abilities, something like that. But hopefully that means everything you're going to talk about is going to talk about how they gave him this false sense of confidence. So that's what we should be touching on in our body paragraphs. So not a bad introduction there, Tristan. Again, I want to see that schizophrenia brought up earlier. Maybe a little bit better word choice as you move forward. All right, so maybe a better topic sentence at the beginning here. Essentially, these two together. Your topic sentence, what it should be. Basically, he's becoming delusional, which is a sign of paranoid schizophrenia, but it's kind of more than that. So I want you to see you develop that a little bit more. All right, so he's preparing to commit the murder of Duncan. Dagger in front of his face, comma, floating in the air. He pleaded, "Thank you for only using a little bit of that quote instead of like 8 lines of it." His sense of what is real and what is not was beginning to deteriorate at this point. He began to question his ability to murder Duncan. I'm not sure. I would love to see you back that up with something. I'm not sure that's necessarily true. But the next part that you say is true. It is advocating, maybe not the best word. I know what you're trying to say. It's trying to persuade him. I don't know if thesaurus.com got you in trouble there, but trying to persuade him towards Duncan's room. I get that. He becomes delusional maybe about the guards. Now remember, they did wake up while he was up there though. So I could still see you justifying it that he was delusional, that things might happen and that's why he killed them. But they did wake up, so make sure you understand that. He killed the guards for no reason. Well, he killed the guards because they saw him, so maybe not necessarily no reason. They're not in touch with reality and they believe that things in their head that are not true. So this probably deserves a quote around this whole thing. And I'm sure if I looked at your works cited page, it would be quotes around this. You have a good transition statement here at the end. Now, this is where you're going to try to touch on with your thesis statement. I'm not sure shadowed is the right word either. Macbeth had shadowed his confidence he had from being delusional. Are you saying he hid his confidence? I'm not sure what you're trying to say with that statement there, but you do need to elaborate on this a little bit more. Go back to the idea of his false sense of confidence. So remember, his hallucinations are supposed to give him a false sense of confidence. So how does it do that? Have you adequately touched on that in this paragraph? how his hallucinations are giving him a false sense of confidence. Is it, you know, as the dagger pointing towards Duncan's room, that's giving him, you know, the okay to go kill him, and that's giving him the false sense of confidence? Killing the guards, how did that give him a false sense of confidence? Now remember, it's about hallucinations and delusions, I guess. And I'd want to see you tie in that delusional part more to the guards. So again, we got to tie that thesis in as best as we can. All right, so I like your topic sentence here. I like your tie-in with the outside source. So that's good. He'd been thinking about a lot about Duncan's murder. I think I'd be specific at this point. And started creating scenarios in his head, which I think is this next part, which you and nearly everyone in your class were thinking wrong here. Macduff is a really good example of someone who is suspicious of. He puts the spy in his house. He doesn't show up to his banquet. That to me is suspicious. He does not believe that Banquo is on to him about the crime. Banquo's on to him, but Macbeth hates Banquo because of the prophecies. So make sure that you understand that difference. Everyone in your class did the same thing. So go back and rethink that. So he's trying to keep Banquo and Macduff out of the picture. We're scattered around in his head, and he struggled to make the decision to kill his best friend. I just said struggled to make the decision to kill Banquo. In his insanity and newfound confident nature, Macbeth wanted Banquo's son, Fleance, dead as well. So we have the idea of scatter. You use scattered twice here. And it's not necessarily related to your thesis statement. So I'm not sure if that's important or whether just you ran out of words to say. Now, he doesn't trust him because he knows he's in England. So it's not just that, he knows he's, against him. So you get that he's twisted. Here's my point, though. Where do we go with confidence? Okay. Because I see a lot of his mind is scattered, but how does that deal with confidence? Now remember, his decision-making skills somehow relates to his sense of confidence. So keep going back to the idea, how does his decision-making skills lead to his sense of confidence? And you would probably want to say, like, even though he makes these terrible decisions that he thinks will be helpful, but they actually make him less confident. Like, Fleance escapes. He kills Macduff's family, but Macduff himself is still alive. So he's making these terrible decisions, but ultimately in the end, they're not helping his confidence at all. So that's where we want to go with that. All right, better topic sentence here to really set us up. Good idea using the outside source. Again, these are probably going to be in quotes. Macbeth's behavior is affected in multiple ways. It's such a throwaway sentence. It doesn't do anything. Be specific, because this is supposed to be about inappropriate or bizarre behavior. So I want to know what that inappropriate or bizarre behavior is in here. This is, so everyone else uses it as a lack of emotion with this disease. So this might be a better way to go after this, use that symptom instead of bizarre behavior. Because bizarre behavior with Macbeth, odd or bizarre behavior, kind of killing Duncan, killing his best friends. I kind of see how not caring about his wife's death, like having no emotion, is kind of bizarre behavior. But again, how does that relate to his confidence? Because this is the sentence that you write, but I have no idea what it means. His confidence level and what he could now produce had increased greatly. Are you talking about his farming skills? I don't know. I'm not sure where you went with that sentence. So I would definitely figure out how his confidence deals with his wife's death, because I would say that's more of just emotionless. Like, he has zero emotion towards that. And I'd almost say that works with Macduff too, because confidence does work with his prophecies. And I would even, focus on the Thanes leaving him. He was so confident with the Thanes. After he killed young Seward, he was so confident in his abilities, and Macduff is the one that tears that apart. Because he battled him knowing he was going to die, which again is terrible decision making based on his confidence. So that works. This is where, though, this is totally the movie and not the play. He carelessly showboated his battle. That is totally the movie. That is not the case at all with the play itself. And I like this idea that by battling him, he's essentially committing suicide. This is just poorly worded, and I think you need to maybe talk about it more up here with the whole confidence thing. Like, it really kind of destroyed. I mean, when we get to it, gave him a false sense of confidence in his abilities, whatever these symptoms were. I don't know. I think you just need to tie it better together with this whole false sense of confidence and odd behavior. Just needs to be a little bit more focused, maybe, Tristan. All right, so conclusion, restate your thesis, go through your main points, and then get to the bottom here. This is almost as bad as in conclusion, so don't try to fool me, Tristan. He battled his demons inside himself, which caused great sabotage to his life. It's okay. You need something else, another sentence, or to extend it, or something else. Okay. Works cited page. Again, remember, see, these are in quotes, so that's what should be in quotes as well on your page. Okay. Periods go inside the quote too, just like this. This is correct. So you got to do the same for here. So a couple different changes there. Not a bad paper, Tristan. Just got a few things that we need to correct and extend and focus on.